Okay, our next section that we're going to look at is called order of operations. Um, First of all, what's an operation? That may or may not be very clear. An operation is simply addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. When you get into higher grades, you're going to look at things like square roots, exponents, things like that. But for our purposes, our operations that we're going to look at are strictly addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now, when you see a big question like this one here, it's got all sorts of operations. We've got addition, we've got multiplication, and then we've also got subtraction in there. We actually will not, sometimes, it depends on the question, but it's not a matter of just doing the operations as we see them in this particular manner. Oftentimes, when we try to do it that way, we will get our answers incorrect. Okay? So I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you kind of all the information all at once, and then we're going to go and look at some more simple questions and work our way up to something like what you're looking at right now. See if some of you have seen this acronym here. It's called BEDMAS. BEDMAS. Some people call it PEDMAS for reasons that I'll explain here in just 1 second. But let's look at this. This is actually, like the title says, it's the order that we do the operations in. And the first thing, our first step is always, if there's something in brackets, we will always do the brackets first. Always. Okay? Once brackets are done, we will then, our second step will always be exponents. We don't do exponents in grade 7, but we do see exponents in math and in science. So an exponent is something like this. When you have that little number on the top right-hand side of another number, oftentimes you'll see it in variables like x squared. We're going to see that this year. Or 5 to the power of 4. Those are all exponents. But, like I said, we're actually not going to do those in grade 7, so we can ignore that. Or not worry about it, I should say. But it's still part of our acronym. The next step in our order of operations is division and multiplication. Now, even though in the list here we have division first and then multiplication, that doesn't mean that you do division first all the time, and I'll explain that a little bit later. The fourth step in this process, in this order of operations, is, you guessed it, addition and subtraction. And just because I'm writing addition first here and subtraction second, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do addition first when you in a certain question. But again, I will illustrate that forthcoming. Okay, so that's our 4 steps, order of operations. Now let's look at some examples. I'm going to start off with quite an easy one. I'm going to write our acronym over here on the side. So, okay, so let's take a look at some questions. What if we had 5 times 2 divided by 3? What are we going to do first? Well, that's our third step, right? But it says division, then multiplication. Does that mean we do division first all the time? No, it doesn't, because they're all the same step. That's one step, isn't it? So whatever comes first in this equation is what we're going to do first. So we're going to do multiplication. We're going to do 5 times 2 first, and then we'll do our division. Okay? Good. Now let's take a look at another one. How about 3 plus 5 divided by 2? Which operation are we going to do first? Well, division and multiplication come before we do any addition and subtraction, so that means we're going to do 5 divided by 2 first, and then we're going to do some addition second. Okay. another one here. How about 6 times 2 plus 3 minus 4. Oh my goodness, that's so big. So what are we going to do first? Well, in our order of operations, it says we have to do brackets first, whatever's in a bracket. So even though that's addition, it's in a bracket, so that means we're going to do it first. Then what will we do next? That's right. Then we're going to do multiplication next, so it's because it's right there. And then we're going to do our subtraction, because that's our last step. That's the last stuff that we do, the last type of operation. Okay, is that looking all right? Maybe let's do one more. Let's do one more example here. Let's go 6 times 2 plus 4 divided by 2 times 3. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. So I'm going to go slow here. Make sure you put your finger on the pause if you need to, so I don't give away the answer. So what operation are we going to do first? Remember, this is our first step. So what will we do first? That's correct. We're going to do 4 divided by 2. Then, what are we going to do? There's no exponents, so we don't have to worry about that. Next, in our question here, we have division and multiplication. Do we have any of that? Yeah, we have 2 multiplications, right? So we're going to do, which one will we do first? That's right, we're going to do this one, and then we're going to do this one here. Okay, and then our fourth step is we're going to take care of any addition. Okay, good. Now, I think we need to do a question here. This video is getting kind of long. All right, here we go. So let's go 3 plus, I'm just going to do a big one right off the bat here. 4 minus 2 times 5. That's good. That's good for a starter. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do, that's correct. We're going to do our brackets first. We're going to do this one right here. So 4 take away 2, and we're going to write it right underneath. That is 2. We haven't done anything with addition or multiplication yet. So we're going to bring those down in our next row. Everything goes right underneath. That's really important to remember. That's a great way to keep track of your numbers. Okay. Now what do we do? Our next step. That's right. We're going to multiply next. So we're going to do this one right here. So 2 times 5 is 10. And we didn't do anything with the addition here, so we're going to bring it down. 3 plus 10. And we get our answer of 3 plus 10 is 13. Simple as that. But it's very important that you work down. So every time I did a question or I took care of an operation, I put the answer right underneath it. That's very, very important. Okay, I know this is a long video, but we're going to do one more here. Okay. Okay. So we've got all sorts here, right? First thing we're going to take care of are the brackets. Which bracket will we do first? It actually doesn't matter, but we're going to do this one first. So 6 plus 2, that's 8. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay. What do we do with all this other stuff in between? We bring it down. That's right, times 3. So we just bring that stuff down. Okay. Our next step, what are we going to do next? We have multiplication or addition. What comes first? We will always do multiplication first. 3 times 8 is 24.
And then we bring the other part down, plus 3. 24 plus 3 is 27. And that, folks, is how you do order of operations.